Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
In the heart of a quaint suburban neighborhood, where picket fences bordered lush gardens and the scent of freshly mowed lawns filled the air, Benjamin found himself immersed in the mundane rhythm of daily life. He was a 30-something office worker living alone in a modest two-bedroom house, framed by a garden that, under his care, had become a riot of color and life. Yet, despite the vibrant blooms surrounding him, Benjamin felt an emptiness he couldn't shake, the yearning for something more, something thrilling and unpredictable. It was in this garden that he first became aware of her, Zoe, his enigmatic neighbor. She had moved in 3 doors down only a few weeks prior, but little was known about her. During the brief glimpses he had from a distance, he caught sight of her striking features, otherworldly beauty framed by long, silvery hair that shimmered like moonlight, and deep, captivating eyes that seemed to hold secrets of the cosmos. Rumors swirled about her. Some neighbors whispered that she was a reclusive artist, while others insisted she was involved in something more nefarious. Benjamin was drawn to her mystery, often peeking through the slats of his fence during his morning coffee, watching as she tended to her own garden with a grace that was almost unnatural. He felt a spark of curiosity ignite within him. One balmy afternoon, while pruning the rose bushes in his backyard, he caught a glimpse of Zoe crouched in the corner of her garden, her fingers deftly plucking what appeared to be exotic, luminescent plants. Intrigued, he wiped the sweat from his brow and cautiously approached the edge of the fence. "Hey, what are you doing?" he called out, half excited, half terrified. Zoe looked up, surprise flashing across her face as she quickly tucked the plants behind her back, a playful smile creeping onto her lips. "Just gathering some herbs," she replied, her voice flowing smoothly like honey. "You wouldn't believe how rare they are in this climate." "What do you need them for?" Benjamin asked, his curiosity piqued despite the nagging fear of crossing a boundary. "Just some personal projects," Zoe said cryptically, her eyes glimmering with an intensity that made his heart race. She studied him for a moment, then added, "I could use a hand. Want to come over?" Benjamin hesitated, a thrill of apprehension running through him. This simple invitation stirred something deep within, a mixture of excitement and dread. Could she really be the artist everyone talked about? Or was there something more beneath her charming exterior? "Yes," he finally said, his heart pounding at the prospect of discovering what lay behind the mystery of Zoe. As Benjamin stepped over the fence, he felt an undeniable shift, like he was crossing into a different realm altogether, one that promised adventure and complexities he had never imagined. As Benjamin crossed the threshold into Zoe's garden, he was immediately enveloped by an otherworldly atmosphere. The moment he stepped on the vibrant grass, a kaleidoscope of colors burst to life around him. Flowers that glowed softly in hues he couldn't quite place danced in the gentle breeze, and the air was rich with unusual scents that awakened something deep inside him. Zoe beckoned him closer with an inviting smile. "Welcome to my little paradise," she said, glancing around as if ensuring the coast was clear. "It's not much, but it's home." Benjamin took a slow step forward, entranced by the sights around him. "It's beautiful," he murmured, waving away the confusion of what he had just seen. Zoe knelt by a particularly large flower with multicolored petals, and Benjamin caught sight of her delicate hands working skillfully. "What exactly are these?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Some of them are medicinal and others, well, they have properties that most people wouldn't understand." Zoe looked up at him, an enigmatic smile playing on her lips. "Here, let me show you." With deft movements, she picked one of the luminescent plants and held it out to Benjamin. It glowed brighter in her palm, casting enchanting patterns of light across her face. "This one can heal wounds almost instantly," she explained, "but it's also extremely rare." Benjamin stared at the plant, his curiosity piqued. "How did you find it? Is it really from around here?" Zoe hesitated, her expression shifting slightly. "Let's just say it's not native to Earth." She quickly cleared her throat, brushing aside the implication of her words. "But I don't want to bore you with botany. What about you? Tell me more about what you do." As they talked, the conversation flowed easily. Benjamin shared snippets of his life, his job, love for gardening, fleeting relationships that never quite bloomed as he had hoped. Zoe listened intently, her gaze unwavering, and Benjamin found himself shedding layers of hesitation and self-doubt. "Why did you move here?" he asked, sensing a deeper story beneath her playful demeanor. Zoe's expression darkened for a moment, as if clouds had rolled across the sun. "I'm searching for something," she admitted slowly, a hint of vulnerability flickering in her eyes. "And I need to stay hidden for a while." A feeling of urgency consumed him as Benjamin contemplated the weight of her words. What could she possibly be hiding from? His instincts told him she was not just an artist or a gardener. Hidden from what? He probed gently, despite the flicker of unease that slithered down his spine. Zoe looked around nervously, then leaned closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "I can't say too much. All I know is that I'm being hunted." Her eyes sparkled with a mix of fear and determination, igniting a protective instinct within him. What? Who's hunting you?" His heart raced, the mundane reality of his life fading as he felt drawn deeper into her world. I made a mistake in my home world, and now they want me back, at any cost." She took a deep breath, the tension palpable. "I didn't think hiding here would feel like such a blessing and a curse simultaneously." Benjamin's mind raced. This wasn't just about plants anymore. It was about danger and survival. "What can I do to help you?" he asked instinctively, his hands clenching into fists. The feeling of helplessness at her vulnerability ignited something fierce inside him. Zoe studied him for a long moment, her expression softening. "You are kind, Benjamin, but there's nothing you can do. I just need some time to figure things out." The warmth that crossed her features made his heart skip, and he couldn't help but admire her strength despite the turmoil she faced. But when her gaze drifted past him, it filled with fear. "We need to be cautious. If they find out I'm here..." She trailed off, a shiver running down her spine. Benjamin felt a surge of protectiveness. "You don't have to face this alone. I'll help you whatever it takes." The weight of the uncertainty settled over them like a fog, yet a strange confidence brewed in his chest. Zoe searched his face, her expression a mixture of gratitude and apprehension. "This is dangerous, Benjamin. You have no idea what you're getting into." "Maybe I don't," he admitted, taking a step closer. "But it's clear you could use a friend. And maybe I can find excitement in my life after all." A faint smile spread across Zoe's lips. It was tinged with sadness, but it was genuine. "You may just be the friend I didn't know I needed," she whispered, her voice soft and melodic. And as the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, Benjamin and Zoe stood together. Two souls seemingly brought together by fate, bonding over the joys of nature and the shadows of danger lurking just beyond the garden fence. The next few days unfolded like a series of secret meetings, cloaked in the guise of neighborly chats. Benjamin and Zoe carved out moments between their lives, sharing stolen glances and hushed conversations amid the vibrant blooms of her garden. Each encounter drew them closer, unveiling layers of trust that deepened with every shared smile and whispered secret. Zoe often brought Benjamin unique plants, explaining their properties and how they tied into her culture. "We use them for rituals and healing," she elaborated one afternoon, showing him a slithering vine with iridescent leaves that seemed to hum with energy. "This one enhances clarity of mind and strengthens connections." As she touched it, Benjamin felt a strange warmth envelop him, a sensation that spiraled through his body. Seeing her so passionate sparked something within Benjamin, a sense of wonder and curiosity about her alien world. "Can you show me more?" he asked, his excitement bubbling over his usual reserve. "I've never seen anything like this." "Of course," Zoe said, her eyes lighting up at his interest. "There's so much you haven't experienced." As they worked side by side, she began to share stories of her home, a place of bioluminescent forests and ancient stargazing traditions, where her people communicated through those very plants that now filled her garden. While the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in dramatic shades of pinks and blues. Benjamin found himself absorbing Zoe's recountings with rapt attention. For the first time, he felt an intoxicating thrill of adventure coursing through his veins, mixing seamlessly with admiration for the mysterious neighbor who had tumbled into his life. As trust blossomed, so did their connection. Zoe opened up slowly, sharing glimpses of the darker sides of her life. "I've seen violence and betrayal among my own people," she said one evening, her voice barely above a whisper as the stars twinkled overhead. "To them, I'm a traitor. To me, I'm just trying to survive." Benjamin listened intently, feeling a swell of compassion for her plight. "You're not a traitor to me," he replied softly, reaching out to clasp her hand. "You deserve a chance to live without fear." Zoe looked at him, her expression a mix of vulnerability and awe. As she took a deep breath, it felt as if she was letting down her last wall. "You can't understand how rare it is to find someone who cares. Most beings only think of themselves." In that moment, Benjamin felt a fierce protectiveness bloom within him. "I'll always be here for you," he declared, his gaze unwavering. "Even if it's dangerous, I want to help you find a way to stay safe." Zoe smiled, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "It's extraordinary to feel this connection. I didn't expect it." In the proximity of their shared warmth, the air shimmered with unspoken tension, pulsating between them like electricity. One particularly balmy evening, with fireflies dancing in the twilight, Zoe glanced at Benjamin and tilted her head slightly. "What if I show you something truly special?" she asked, her voice laced with intrigue. "What did you have in mind?" Benjamin replied, his heart racing. Grinning conspiratorially, Zoe led him deeper into her garden to a secluded, moonlit grove draped in a luminescent bloom. "This," she said, gesturing dramatically, "is the heart of myriad. It's a rare flower that blooms only under a full moon and carries with it, well, magical properties." Benjamin stood in awe as the flower glowed ethereally. What kind of magic? He was entranced, believing in the possibilities of her world. Zoe took a step closer, her voice barely a whisper. "It's said to bond hearts together, creating a strong connection that transcends borders. It allows for deeper understanding." She looked at him, her eyes glimmering under the moonlight, leaving little space for misinterpretation. Feeling a mix of excitement and uncertainty, Benjamin swallowed hard. "Is it dangerous? Will it hurt?" "No," she assured him, shaking her head. "But it will change everything." Benjamin's pulse quickened at the prospect of what she was suggesting. Her gaze was steady, inviting him into the unknown. "If it can help us understand each other, then maybe it's worth it," he replied cautiously, feeling a surge of bravery wrestle with the fear clinging to him. Zoe smiled softly, an aura of anticipation humming between them. She stepped closer and reached for his hand, her touch electrifying. They moved toward the flower together, a delicate zooze of warmth and fear swirling in the air. As Zoe took a moment to breathe deeply, she whispered an incantation that seemed to resonate with the cosmos. The heart of myriad began to pulse, a heartbeat synchronized with their own as waves of light enveloped them, filling the space with warmth. As their hands entwined above the flower, Benjamin felt a rush of emotions flood his senses: fear, longing, curiosity, but above all, an undeniable connection that made his heart race. Something was shifting between them, a bond forming deeper than the physical realm, igniting an urge to protect and cherish her. As they stood there, Benjamin locked eyes with Zoe, feeling the world around them dissolve into insignificance. "Whatever happens, I'm here," he promised, the words evoking a sense of destiny. Zoe nodded, her voice thick with emotion. "And I will never let you go." The air crackled with an electric tension, and in that moment they both understood. The stakes had risen. The world was changing around them, but here, under this luminous bloom, they felt both the weight of danger and the promise of something beautiful taking root. Days turned into weeks, and the bond between Benjamin and Zoe solidified under the glow of the heart of myriad. What began as playful curiosity transformed into something far deeper, a connection woven through shared laughter, whispered secrets, and the ever-present danger looming above them like an ominous cloud. The knowledge that Zoe was an alien hiding from an unseen enemy only fueled Benjamin's desire to protect her. Their clandestine meetings became an exhilarating escape from the monotony of his everyday life. Each stolen moment felt like an adventure, and each glance exchanged held the promise of something greater. As they spent time together, their connection sparked into an undeniable attraction. Benjamin noticed little things about Zoe that captivated him. The way her silvery hair glimmered in the sunlight, the warmth of her laughter, and the fierceness in her eyes that spoke of a spirit unbroken by fear. He found himself drawn to her, not just as an intriguing neighbor, but as someone who made him feel alive. One evening, they found themselves hiding from the world in a secluded nook of Zoe's garden, the air thick with the scent of blooming flowers and the soft murmur of crickets. It was here that Benjamin dared to breach the unspoken boundaries they had carefully danced around. "Zoe," he said, his voice low and earnest, "I've never met anyone like you. The more I learn about you, the more I feel connected." Zoe turned to him, her expression serious yet soft. "You know, I felt that too. You make me feel safe, something I didn't think I would find on Earth." A warm blush crept up her cheeks as she bit her lip, a gesture that made Benjamin's heart race. "Do you think it's crazy, this connection between us?" he asked, searching her gaze for answers. "Only if you believe in crazy," Zoe replied, a shy smile sneaking onto her lips. "But for me, it feels real. It transcends everything I know." As the moon cast a silver glow over them, Benjamin leaned closer, his heart pounding in his chest. "I want to understand you more, your culture, your world. I want to know everything about you." Zoe swallowed hard, her breath hitching slightly. "And I want to show you. But Benjamin, there are risks involved. My pursuers are always searching, always close. If they knew." She trailed off, the fear flickering in her eyes. "I don't care about the risks," he said, a determined edge sharpening his voice. "I care about you." Possibly out of instinct or desperation, they moved closer, the air crackling with tension. Zoe's breath hitched as Benjamin cupped her face gently, the warmth radiating from her skin almost intoxicating. Time seemed to stretch as their eyes locked, uncertainty suspended in the air between them. "Benjamin," she murmured, but whatever she intended to say faded into silence as their lips met tentatively, igniting a rush of emotion that cascaded like wildfire between them. The kiss was hesitant at first, a tender exploration of boundaries that melted away the last vestiges of doubt. Benjamin felt his heart swell as he pulled Zoe closer, deepening the kiss into something more fervent, more desperate. She tasted of sweetness, mixed with an underlying hint of something exotic, a flavor foreign yet wholly intoxicating. As they broke apart, their foreheads touched, and Benjamin could feel Zoe's rapid breath matching his own. "What was that?" she whispered breathlessly, her wide eyes reflecting vulnerability and excitement. "Something I've always wanted," he admitted, his pulse racing. "To feel alive, to feel connected." Zoe smiled, genuine and full of warmth, yet a shadow of worry lingered in her expression. "But we're from different worlds, Benjamin. There may come a time when I can't stay." "We'll figure it out," he insisted, a surge of resolve washing over him. "We'll find a way." Their moment was interrupted by a sudden rustle in the trees nearby, making both of them jump. The threat of danger lingered in the air like an unwelcome specter, serving as a stark reminder of the reality they faced. "Did you hear that?" Zoe whispered, her eyes darting to the source of the sound. "I did. Stay close," Benjamin said, his protective instincts flaring to life. Together, they hurried back into the safety of her garden, where shadows danced ominously, and the stakes of their connection weighed heavily on their hearts. As they stepped away from the grove, the illumination of the heart of Myriad flickered behind them, a symbol of hope during their dusk-like danger. Benjamin realized that their bond could be both a blessing and a curse, a source of strength battling against the uncertainties that loomed like dark clouds on the horizon. Zoe looked up at him, her expression melding courage with fear. "Whatever happens, Benjamin, Thank you for standing by me. I'm not going anywhere, he vowed, sealing his promise with the warmth of his hand wrapping around hers. And for a fleeting moment, amidst the chaos, they found solace in each other's embrace. Underneath the looming threat, a sanctuary began to shape, a place where boundaries vanished, fear was meaningful, and love thrived amid uncertainty. The days that followed the brush with danger only intensified Benjamin and Zoe's connection. Each moment they spent together transformed into a blend of urgency and depth that both exhilarated and terrified them. As they shared stories under the stars, the gravity of their situation weighed heavier on them, yet it was impossible to ignore the growing passion that crackled in the air. It was a warm evening when Benjamin found himself at the edge of Zoe's garden again, entranced by the beauty around them. The light of the moon bathed the flowers in an ethereal glow, and the world felt suspended in anticipation. Before Benjamin could even process the thought, Zoe appeared beside him, her presence radiating warmth that made his heart skip. "Do you think we should be out here?" Benjamin asked quietly, the weight of danger pressing against them. Zoe touched his arm, her fingers soft yet confident. "We need to embrace what we have while we can, Benjamin. Our time together has to mean something." Her eyes sparkled with intensity, and Benjamin sensed an unspoken yearning beneath her words. "I know. I've felt it every moment we're together," he replied, feeling the heat rise between them. "But mating? What if it complicates things?" The very word spilled from his lips, reverberating with a mix of excitement and apprehension. "It could," Zoe admitted, a slow smile creeping across her face. "But mating also binds us in ways that transcend danger. It's a connection that carries strength and understanding, something we need right now." Benjamin searched her eyes, realizing she was right. Every moment spent together deepened their bond, and the thought of mating sent a rush of adrenaline through him. He wanted to explore every facet of their connection, the primal instincts that surged just beneath the surface. "We've shared so much already, our fears, our histories," he murmured, inching closer to her. "I want to explore this connection." Zoe's expression softened, filled with a longing that mirrored his own. "Then let's embrace it, together." As the last vestiges of resistance melted away, they closed the distance between them. The air crackled with a potent energy, and Benjamin leaned in, capturing Zoe's lips with his own. The kiss ignited a fire within him, a fierce desire that had been simmering beneath the surface. Zoe responded in kind, her hands finding their way to his hair, pulling him closer as the world around them faded into darkness. Time lost relevance as they melted into one another, surrendering to the wild rhythm of their hearts. As they broke apart, Benjamin's breath quickened, filled with anticipation. What if something happens?" he asked, voice thick with emotion. Zoe smiled, her gaze unwavering. "If we mate, it will forge a bond that makes us stronger. It's more than just physical, it will merge our worlds." With unspoken agreement, they retreated deeper into the sanctuary of the heart of Myriad, where the soft glow of the flower surrounded them like a cocoon. Benjamin's heart raced as Zoe stepped back, looking up at him, the energy between them palpable. "Let's not hold back," she whispered, her eyes glinting with an otherworldly fire. "I want us to be one." Benjamin felt a rush of heat flood through him, emboldened by her words. He stepped forward, brushing his hands against her waist, feeling the softness of her skin as she leaned into him. Their chemistry ignited like wildfire, a slow burn that turned into an inferno of passion. Gently, he cradled her face, his fingers trailing down her cheek before finding her hand, leading it to his chest. "I want us to be real," he murmured, urgency crawling under his skin. Zoe nodded, her eyes darkened with desire. "Then let's unite ourselves, body and soul." With that, they let the natural rhythm of their bodies guide them as they heeded the primal call. They moved together in sync, shedding the constraints of their fears and insecurities as they intertwined beneath the caress of the heart of Myriad. The world around them became a kaleidoscope of colors and sensations, transforming the mundane into something extraordinary. Their bodies pressed together, warmth radiating from them as they shared whispered promises and soft caresses. The ancient bond of mating surfaced, primal instincts awakening as they surrendered to the chemistry sparking between them. Benjamin felt Zoe's breath hitch as they explored new territories, every gentle touch igniting explosions of sensations that resonated deep within. As they mated, the connection between them deepened, the blend of human and alien essence intertwining in a beautiful tapestry. The air around them shimmered, pulsating in rhythm with their shared heartbeat as the world outside blurred into obscurity. With each moment, Benjamin became more aware of the merging of their souls, an irreverent dance of two worlds colliding, creating something magical. He felt Zoe's heartbeat echoing through his own, a tether that promised safety in a chaotic universe. They moved together, weaving their bodies and souls into a shared existence that defied logic and reason. In that sacred space, they were no longer simply a human and an alien. They were Benjamin and Zoe, two beings connected beyond the boundaries of their worlds. Afterward, as they lay entwined beneath the shimmering moonlight, Benjamin felt a profound sense of peace wash over him. The fears that had once shadowed their hearts began to recede, replaced by a connection rooted deeply in trust, but now also in love forged through their mating. "Whatever happens next, we'll face it together," Benjamin whispered, his fingers tracing patterns on Zoe's skin. "Together," Zoe echoed, her eyes reflecting both fear and determination. And for now, that was enough. They had found solace in each other, the potency of their connection intertwining as they prepared to face the unknown that loomed ahead. The dawn of a new day broke over the horizon, bathing the garden in a warm golden light. But Benjamin and Zoe remained encased in their sanctuary, tangled in each other's arms. The peace of their shared intimacy was profound, yet the weight of their situation loomed heavily in the back of Benjamin's mind. "Zoe," he murmured, stroking her hair, which sparkled like stardust in the morning light. "What happens now, after what we've done?" She looked up at him, the vulnerability in her eyes strikingly beautiful. "Our mating has bridged our worlds, Benjamin, but it's also connected us to the dangers I face." She paused, taking a deep breath. "I can't hide forever." Benjamin felt a pang of fear, but squared his shoulders, resolved. "Then we won't hide. We'll stand together and face whoever's coming for you." A bittersweet smile crossed Zoe's lips. "You've shown me kindness in ways I never thought possible. To think someone like you would risk everything for me." Her words trailed off as tears glistened in her eyes, and Benjamin felt a surge of emotion, anger at the dangers she faced, love for the person she had become to him. "Whatever consequences come, I won't abandon you," he vowed, his eyes fierce with determination. "We'll find a way." Zoe wiped her tears and sat up, a newfound glint of resolve sparking in her gaze. "There's a way," she said, her tone shifting to one of hope. "My people. If I can reach them, I can find safety. But I'll need your help." As Zoe explained her plan, Benjamin felt a mix of excitement and dread. They needed to travel to a remote location where the heart of Myriad's energy could amplify their connection, allowing Zoe to communicate with her realm and summon assistance. That night, the pair packed supplies together under the cover of darkness, adrenaline coursing through their veins. "We must be careful," Zoe warned. "They will be looking for me, and you must stay hidden." When night finally fell, they moved as shadows through the neighborhood, wrapped in an urgency unlike anything Benjamin had ever known. The stars lit their path as they arrived at a secluded clearing, the heartbeat of the heart of Myriad resonating in the air. As they approached the flower, Benjamin could feel the familiar pull of its energy, urging them closer. They knelt together in the clearing, the silence around them heavy with anticipation. "Close your eyes and trust me," Zoe whispered, her voice soothing. Benjamin did as instructed, feeling her hand entwine with his in an anchor of strength. He focused on their bond, the emotions they shared, and the powerful connection born from their mating. Zoe began to chant softly, her words an ancient melody that resonated with the pulse of the flower. A luminescent glow enveloped them, the air crackling with energy as the heart of Myriad awakened to their presence. Suddenly, the ground shook, and a portal began to form before them, an ethereal doorway swirling with strange light. Zoe opened her eyes, meeting Benjamin's gaze firmly. "This is it." The portal flickered with vibrant energy, a bridge to her world and freedom. "You have to go, Zoe. I'll be right here waiting," he insisted, pride swelling in his chest, despite the ache of impending separation. "No, Benjamin. With this bond, I can't leave without you. You are part of me now," she replied, determination washing over her features. "We must do this together." As they stepped through the portal, a cacophony of colors and sounds enveloped them, transporting them to Zoe's world, a realm alive with strange flora and radiant skies filled with twinkling stars. The air hummed with energy, brimming with the vibrancy of her people. Zoe turned to him, the joy on her face overwhelming. "We made it!" But amidst the beauty, a shadow stretched across the horizon. Zoe's pursuers had been drawn to the portal's energy. "They're here," she whispered, gripping his arm tightly. Adrenaline surged through Benjamin's veins, leaving him no time to hesitate. "We'll confront them together." The pair stood side by side as they faced the oncoming threat, and as their enemies approached, Benjamin felt the strength of their bond woven into the very essence of the air around them. With Zoe beside him, he discovered an inner power he didn't know he possessed. Together, they fought against the adversaries, drawing on the strength of their connection, their love, and the magic they had created. In the heat of the battle, Benjamin's determination to keep Zoe safe ignited a brilliant light that pushed back the darkness, dispelling her pursuers and establishing their sanctuary. As the dust settled, Zoe turned to Benjamin, her eyes wide with disbelief and joy. "We did it," she breathed, tears of relief cascading down her cheeks. "We're together," Benjamin replied breathlessly. "We've forged a new path," she said, a smile breaking free. "Together, mate. Always." The horizon ahead shimmered with new possibilities and adventures yet to unfold. It was a future filled with uncertainty, but grounded in an unbreakable bond. They had faced the unknown, and now, hand in hand, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. And with that, they stepped into a new world together, their connection transcending borders as they embraced a destiny wrought from the stars above.